Radiohead's Thom Yorke is renowned for his haunting songwriting, so there were no surprises when it was announced that he'd be writing the soundtrack for the upcoming 70s horror film remake Suspiria. And the first single from that soundtrack just dropped. So in this video, you'll learn Thom's secret formula for writing haunting and hypnotic chord progressions. But first, tea.
Revolutionaries, and welcome to the Hack Music Theory channel. I'm Kate Harmony, this is Ray Harmony, and you're watching our New Music Friday show,
where we troll through the new releases every week to find the hottest music theory hacks for your weekend studio session. So if that sounds useful to you, then please subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. I'm super pumped about this video because I've been a Radiohead fan ever since the beginning. You want to know a funny story about Thom Yorke?
Okay.
So, you know they're from Oxford, right?
Okay.
So many moons ago, I don't know, probably like 15 years ago or something, I went to Oxford for the day. So I'm driving up to Oxford from London, and the whole way there, I'm just like, the only thing I know about Oxford is like the university and Radiohead. So I'm driving up and I'm thinking like, how amazing would it be if I bump into Thom Yorke, right? So the whole way there, it's not very long, but the whole way there, I'm just kind of fantasizing about how cool it would be to bump into Thom Yorke, right? So pull into Oxford, looking for a parking space, find a parking space, pull into the parking space, stop the car, open the door, guess who walks past? I kid you not. So here's the thing. I was so shocked because it was like so surreal, right? I was so shocked. I couldn't say anything and he just walked right past and he just walked off into the sunset. Well, it was the morning, but anyway. So there you go. That's my experience with Thom Yorke.
Almost meeting Thom Yorke.
So then I spent the rest of the day fantasizing about how amazing it would have been to actually say something. Anyway, it's time to open your door to Hack Music Theory.
The theory. The two main elements that make Suspirium stand out are its haunting chords and hypnotic rhythm. The haunting chord progression is created by mixing the Dorian mode with the Aeolian mode, and then using all major chords other than the root chord, which is obviously a minor.
But even that minor root chord is eventually turned into a major.
And all these major chords appearing from two minor modes create a suspiciously uplifting atmosphere, which you know cannot be trusted. Then, as if that wasn't enough, the hypnotic repetition of the rhythm gently but persistently opens up your subconscious.
Like ghostly rhythmic water drops.
The hack.
Okay, so what you see on your screen right now is the chord progression that we wrote using the music theory from Thom Yorke. And by the way, these dark notes below are the root notes of the chords in our progression. They're all muted, so they're not actually part of the chords, they're just here for reference. Now, are you ready to write a haunting chord progression? Alright, we got 5 simple steps for you coming up. And just a quick note before we jump in, if you're new to music theory or if you just want to brush up on the basics, no problem, we got you covered. Just read our free book, 12 Music Theory Hacks, Learn Scales and Chords, which you can download at hackmusictheory.com.
Step 1. Time.
Thom's opening words in the song are, "This is a waltz," so it goes without saying that he's using triple time here. So set your time signature to 3/4 and set your tempo to 151 BPM.
Step 2. Mode.
As you now know, Thom is mainly using the Dorian mode in the song, and his root is C sharp, so your chord options are
C sharp minor, D sharp minor, E major, F sharp major, G sharp minor, A sharp diminished, and B major.
And by the way, if you need help writing a chord progression in the Dorian mode, or actually writing a whole section in the Dorian mode, everything from the chords to the bass, right up to the melodies, then we've got a super simple step-by-step starter guide for you. So just keep on watching, because that playlist is going to pop up on your screen at the end of this video.
Step 3. Chords.
Start on the root chord, C sharp minor, which really anchors you into that minor atmosphere, but then choose only major chords for the rest of your progression. but somewhere in the middle, return to the root chord, just so your listeners don't get lost. And then lastly, change all your block chords into arpeggios by simply playing them one note at a time.
Step 4. Haunt.
The most noticeable way Thom haunts his chord progression is by changing the root chord C sharp minor into a C sharp major here at the end of the progression.
This hack is a Radiohead favorite.
And then, to make it even more haunty, he plays that C sharp major for twice as long as any other chord. And the repercussion of this is a very unusual 18 bar chord progression instead of the predictable 16 bars. Right, next up, you want to borrow the flat 6 major from the C sharp Aeolian mode, which is an A major chord, and we put that over here. Then lastly, be sure to use an add 9 chord somewhere as well to add that dreamlike quality to your progression. We did this in a few places, one of them being here over the root chord in the middle of our progression. That's the 2 over there, and that's a 2 over there. And on that note, remember, you make an add 9 chord by simply adding a 2 to your triad.
Step 5. Bass.
Finally, copy and paste your piano arpeggios into another track, which is going to become your left-hand part. Then move all the low 3s in every chord down to roots, which is going to create a beautiful harmony. And you can do the same thing for the higher notes, the ones that are not on root notes. Like we got flat 3s over there, so we can pull those down to roots as well. And with that, you're done.
So now that you've got one section down, how do you write a new section for it? And then how do you transition between those two sections?
Great questions. And if this is something you need help with, then you've come to the right place. Check out our cutting-edge online apprenticeship course where you'll literally learn every step of the music making process. And most importantly, you'll learn how to finish your songs. If that sounds useful to you, then just head on over to hackmusictheory.com.
Alright, that's it. We really hope this video has inspired and empowered you. And if it has, please drop us a comment below. We love hearing from you.
Thanks for joining the Hack Music Theory Revolution. We'll see you next week.